the dramatic effect on our gut microbiome is taking antibiotics. Does your microbiome recover after you take antibiotics?
So there are several studies which suggest that, yeah, there is a lot of recovery. So that these ecosystems within us are resilient. They can absorb a fair bit of punishment before they go wildly, of course. And often if you take chronic, long-lasting courses of antibiotics, you can go, of course. So you can develop infections that take hold in the guts of people who've taken lots of antibiotics, like Clostridium difficile is the canonical example. But
so it just overgrows in the absence of other things and causes chronic terrible diarrhea.
That's right. I mean, I think if you've if anyone's ever tried gardening and done the amateur mistake of just pouring weed killer all over the place to try and get rid of dandelions, and suddenly you see that more weeds come up, it's exactly the same sort of principle. But I think the question with antibiotics are whether those changes are leading to poor health in the long run. So there are obviously lots of studies showing that antibiotics administered to mice at a young age, for example, can make it foster obesity and some other conditions later on in life.
Which makes everyone wonder if the obesity epidemic now is in any way possibly related to the use of antibiotics.
That's right. But I would say two things to that. Firstly, in a lot of these studies, the effect sizes are quite small. So the increase in weight is, 10 to 20%. So it's the equivalent of me like putting on a stone or two, which I would rather not, but also isn't going to be a massive
obesity.
Yeah. And secondly, whether those, so a lot of those early differences seem to normalize out over time. So changes, so you see resilience, you see things bouncing back. So the big question, I think, is whether that temporary disturbance causes problems. Some would argue that if they happen at a critical point in development, that you're not getting exposure to the right microbes at the right time, at this sort of narrow time window when it especially matters. But I also feel that it's kind of an open question now. Like we need more data to really nail down every step in that link from antibiotic exposure to other significant problems of the modern
But there
world.
is data showing that the more antibiotic prescriptions a kid gets, the more likely they are to get asthma and diabetes, yes? Or how many different diseases are related now to multiple antibiotic prescriptions?
So there's epidemiological evidence linking it to things like obesity, asthma, but I also feel that there's some contradictory evidence too. So if you look at studies across the board, you see kind of different results. You see different results even depending on the meta-analyses that you're looking at. So I feel that there's some uncertainty there, and I think that you almost would expect that if you're thinking about things from a microbiome angle, because we all have such different starting conditions. What our microbiomes are like originally, which species we have, that will affect how we react to these drugs. This different drugs that you take will make a difference as well. The diets that you're taking at the same time, genetic factors, all of these things fall into the picture and influence how we react to all these exposures around us. So I think it's a complicated question to crack.